Hi everyone, welcome to Linda's Thrifty Life and welcome to Smile Saturday. I'm a little late coming in today. It's been just a cloudy, rainy day and I haven't had any oomph. But I do want to share a story with you and I hope it makes you smile as much as it makes me smile. So today I'm going to share the story of my best kitty friend ever. His name was Charlie. I found him in 1998. I had gone to a PetSmart with my sister-in-law and we were going to get my friend's cat, Boo, a little little toy or something. And I had been thinking about getting another cat. I'd had cats when I was young and growing up, but we hadn't had any indoor cats in a long time because my daughter Sarah is allergic to them. So I walked into this PetSmart and I hadn't been in there, and I looked over to the right and there was this big glass window and inside of it was cages and there was all these animals. And I said, oh, they have animals? And my sister-in-law says, yeah, they do adoptions out of here. And I just looked over and there was this cat. Now, if you've been in a PetSmart, you know they're really big stores, sort of like a Walmart. But there was this one straight aisle, straight to that window, and it was like this light went off on this cat. Well, we went on down and we found some cat toys and stuff, and we came back and I stood there and I looked down there and I said, let's go look. And I had spotted this cat. He was in the last cage, and so we went in and I worked my way down. It was like I was I'm not rushing to find him. And when I got to that cage, and there were several kittens in that cage, he was right there at the front, and he's the one that I'd seen, and it was over. I always say our eyes met across a let me try that again. I always say our eyes met across a crowded PetSmart, and I was his and he was mine. So I don't have the pictures. They're in an album somewhere, but I don't know if you can see, but that's how tiny he was. Look at him. So cute. He just was a special cat, and I think those of you that have ever had a special one that just really gets into your heart, they know you. He would look at me. I would look at him. Here's some more pictures of him. Look at how he loved to pose. He was a beautiful boy. He just was my soul kitty. And he would always stay by my side when I didn't feel well. And I went through a lot of stuff with Charlie in my life. A divorce, moving, changes, things with my children. He even lived long enough to have met, he didn't like, but to have met both of my grandchildren, because he was old by the time, they came along. This is harder than I thought. He just had such a big personality, and everybody loved him. He was just smart and intuitive. He loved chicken. You could cook anything in the world in the kitchen, he would never bother you. But if you cooked chicken, he was there under your feet. Yeah, yeah. And you drop him a piece. Meow, meow. He loved chicken. And the other thing he loved was tuna water. I think a lot of you, if you have cats, you know, when you drain the water off a can of tuna, I would put it in a bowl and put it down for him, and he just lapped it up. So Annie likes neither of those. She is not a chicken girl. She's really not a food girl except for her dry food. And she does put tuna water down for her, and she looks at me like, "What's that?" You know. I don't know. She is her own girl. But Charlie was a special boy. He liked to climb and go up into high places and curl up. He never met a box he didn't like. He loved boxes. Just, he would move into one for a few days, would have to stay wherever it was until he moved out. You know how cats pick a place. This is one of my favorite photos of him. He wasn't very old there, maybe 4. I'm not even sure he was that old. Look how handsome boy. And he knew how to pose, I'm telling you. You can't tell from this picture, but there was, that's an old computer screen, you can tell. But there was that, like the fish tank screensaver, and he was like watching the fish on there. Here he was, a Christmas kitty. He was all white except for his dark gray tail and dark gray hair, and then he had, and then he had a big spot. Just one big gray spot. So I could, you know, so I always said it so God could know exactly who he was. He put those little spots on him. So Charlie was with me for 17 years. And he was getting old, you know, but he still had a lot of life in him. And 5 years ago, right before my brother died, December 23rd, 5 years ago, Charlie had a seizure, and it scared the padiddle out of me. So I scooped him up and ran him to our vet, and he was fine. And she said, well, he's doing okay. He wasn't eating a lot. He had lost a lot of weight. He just wasn't interested in food. I would tempt him with everything I could think of. And he just, she said, he's not ready. And I said, he's not? Oh, good. And she said, no, he's not ready. And she said, he'll let you know when he's ready. Because we knew he was getting old. 17 is old for a kitty. So I took him home, and then my brother got really sick, and I had to go to Texas. So I didn't want to leave him with anybody because I didn't know if he had another seizure or how well he was doing. So I took him to the vets, and they kept him for that whole week that I was gone to Texas. And when I got back, and after saying goodbye to my brother and taking care of all of that, when I picked Charlie up, oh, he was so glad to see me, and I was so glad to see him. And I looked at him and I said, Charlie, I know you're old, sweetie. I know you're getting tired, but if you could give Mama just a few more weeks, I just need to get over that before I lose you. And he managed to give me about 6 more weeks. The day before he crossed the bridge, I could tell he was not doing well. He was hiding in the closet a lot, and he was hunkered down in his ears. Was just really hard. I had something going on with Mom that it was a Friday. And so Friday night when I got back, Friday evening, it was too late to take him, and I really, honestly couldn't take him to the vet. I just said, I need one more night with you, boy. And he would climb up on my chest. Always laid on me If I was sleeping on my side, he would sleep on my side. He would always sleep on me. He was just my boy. And he came out of the closet a couple times during the night. Of course, I didn't sleep worth anything. And we just talked and talked. And he came up and he got on my chest. And Charlie would always take his paw and just stroke my cheek. He would do that. And he looked at me and I knew it was time. I wasn't ready, but it was time. So that morning I took him to the vet and I said goodbye. It was peaceful and beautiful, and I didn't want him to suffer. Okay, excuse me a minute. Are you smiling or are you crying? But it's so much love that it's joyful, but it makes me sad. So today is 5 years since I lost that boy. He's a part of my heart. He will always be a part of my heart. He was such an important part of my life for a very long time. And I think the grief of losing him and my brother within, 2 months of each other, it was really hard for me, and I grieved for a long time. So, I want to share this with you. A friend of mine her dog, Scout, passed away a couple of days after Charlie, same year. She had a friend who did watercolors of pets, and she had one done of her Scout, and she got one for me of my tiger, of my Charlie. And it's that pose and that face. He's just beautiful. You can see he had the most beautiful green eyes. He was just a special boy. So this week, as I anticipated this anniversary, I decided that I was going to do a collage kind of in memory of Charlie. And that didn't come out like I wanted. I'll work on that. I need something else. I'm sorry. That was just babbling. Anyway, here is the collage that I did for Charlie. Black and white, because that was my boy, with that touch of red heart. He was just a special little guy. He really was. So, most of the time, memories of him just make me smile. Sarah just shared a memory. My daughter Sarah said, "Oh, he was the best kitty, Mama." And she said, he used to flick that tail at us and make us laugh. If we'd say something or he was fussing at us, his tail would just flick, flick, flick. And it was so funny. It was just crack us up, and we'd go, "Are you mad, Charlie? What's wrong, Charlie?" I still had him when Scout was a baby, and she got down on the floor. Was just learning to crawl a little bit and scoot along, and she chased him in my house. It was so funny. And he just sat there looking at her, and then all of a sudden I was like, "You better run, Charlie, because if she gets you, she's going to grab you." Tiger always loved him very much. He knew he was real special to me. And he would always say, "I know he's old, Grandma. I know he's old." And after Charlie passed away, Tiger and I talked, and he said, "I know you're sad, Grandma." And I said, "I am. I'm really sad." And he said, "Grandma, I'll buy you a new Charlie. Can I buy you a new Charlie?" And that just touched my heart so much. And I was like, "Oh, Tiger," I said, "Grandma's not ready for a new Charlie." I said, I need to get over this a little bit, but when I am ready for another cat, I'll take you with me. And so when I was ready, he went with me, and that's how we found Annie. It was like night and day for Charlie. She is so different, but she's my girl, and I love her too. But Charlie was my soul kitty. I mean, he could look into my eyes and just, communicate with me, and I don't know. I hope all of you have had a wonderful pet like that just really, touched your soul. And so on this day, while I have tears, I also have smiles because I had Charlie in my life, and I will always have the memories and the love. So I'm sorry if I made you cry, but it's a good cry. It's good to remember, and it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to find joy in memories of loved ones. Charlie was just special, and so are all of you. And thank you for joining me for Smile Saturday. Bye now.